Hi classmates, my name is Nikki Patten, and today in my presentation I'm going to teach you about my life, how and why I became a teacher, and what I'm currently doing in education. Come along with me. Okay, when I was little, I had two big influences on my life. One was Mr. Rogers, and the second was my Grandpa Graham. There he is. There's baby Nikki. My grandpa was an artist, and he taught me a lot about how to do art. And so as a kid, I thought I'd grow up and become an artist, but that's not exactly what happened, though I do get to do a lot of fun art stuff as a teacher. So here's a picture of me when I was in kindergarten, and I love this picture. But it wasn't too long after this that I started to have this negative thought in my head that I just wasn't very good at school. It was too hard, I wasn't very good at it, and no one ever told me those things. It just popped in my head, and in fact, it stayed with me until all the way through high school. I always felt like school just wasn't for me, and in fact, when it came time to go off to college, that was not something that I thought that I was cut out for. So after high school, I went to apply and got a job at the kindergarten at my church, and I loved it. I started working with kindergartners, and I was never more happy than when I was in the classroom working with kids and getting to be creative and have fun. And here is a picture of me and my husband. And I'm not just showing you this picture to show you how cute he is, or obviously how hilarious he thinks I am. I'm actually showing you this picture because he's really important to the story about how I became a teacher. As I said on the previous slide, I didn't think that I was cut out for college, but when we got married, he's brilliant. He even has a PhD in psychology, and is a professor here at ASU. But when we got married, he had read a paper that said that people who are married that have similar education levels are have a better chance of, making it for the long run. And so I was like, fine, I'll go to college, especially because if someone like him thought that I could do it, then I must have been able to do it. Anyhow, I went off to ASU and I became a student and then graduated with my degree in elementary education. So at ASU, in my final year, I got to do that year-long student teaching program, and I got to work at the school that was my dream school. Out here where we live in Queen Creek, there's a charter school that's super sciency and hands-on, and I just like wanted to work there so badly. And after I graduated, I was offered a job and got to teach third grade at this school. And like I said, it was like a dream come true. So here is my very first class of my very own. Um, and we're having a Thanksgiving feast here. And here is a picture of my last class at this school. We are at Boyce Thompson Arboretum for a field trip. They're sixth graders, and the reason why I say it was like my last class was because the week after this field trip, we went on fall break, and then, nope, we went on spring break, and then we never came back again because it was the pandemic. So we shifted everything online, just like lots of teachers across the US. Here is a picture of my little squares, my students and I, and my co-teacher too here. I'm the one with this beard, and he's the one with that beard. Even though we didn't have to continue meeting with our students because we had a lot of like distance learning activities where they just worked on things and then they didn't even turn them in because people just didn't know what we were doing at that point. Um, I continued to meet with my students for book clubs and just kind of give them some sense of normality and like fun while we were going through this crazy thing, and I made some videos for them. This was me being the captain for a video about explorers, and I even got my husband to participate. Here he is being my old uh, mother, the captain's mother there. He's a really good sport. Um, but when we went back to school for that school year, I didn't feel good about the plans that they had for going back to in-person learning. And so both I and my teaching partner both resigned. And I was really heartbroken because, like I told you before, I really loved that school and I thought I would work there until I retired someday. But now, looking back on it, I gave them a lot of free hours of work, like working on the weekends and working late at night and coming in super early in the mornings. And nobody told me that I had to do that. But at that school, the culture of teachers there was like, we are the best, we are excellence. And so we, like I said, gave a lot of ourselves to the school. And in the end, when I needed them to take all of our health seriously, I just didn't feel like that was reciprocated. So as I left, I just couldn't stop teaching, though. It reminds me of in Beauty and the Beast when the candlestick says, servant who isn't serving is so unnerving or something like that. And that's kind of how I felt about teaching. If I'm a teacher who isn't teaching, I don't know what I'm doing with myself. So I researched and found this place called OutSchool, which was online learning, but that it was like you could create just standalone classes, and I thought that was really cool. This is like a little thumbnail for a class that I created about um, literacy skills. I also did a lot of book clubs. Like here was a Halloween themed Headless Horseman, Sleepy Hollow book, and I loved being able to create this like digital space online where kids could like click on all of the little buttons and stuff like that and find even more fun, exciting things about the book. So you can see that I was starting to get really excited about online learning. That's a hint for what's to come. All right, so the following year, um, it was a new school year, but still, I don't remember. The pandemic was still had all these different variants and craziness, and so I still felt like it would be good to stay home for at least one more year. And so I looked for schools, virtual schools, and was excited to see that Mesa Public Schools was going to open up a brand new school called Mesa Virtual Campus. And I applied and was hired to teach first grade online. And in these pictures here, these are pictures of my teaching trailer. Here at my house, we have a travel trailer that my husband and I converted into a little classroom so that I could go outside and teach in the trailer and be as loud and crazy as I needed to be to keep first graders engaged online all day. It was such a joy to go out into that little space, but to also be at home. My commute was, you know, pretty easy. And also another good benefit was that every once in a while I would pop out of the teaching trailer and my husband would drop off a cup of coffee for me. So that was pretty sweet too. But those good times did not last. In the fall, at fall break, I found out that I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and that obviously has some horrible things associated to it, but at the time in my life, there was also some really great things. For one, it was horrible because I didn't want to be sick. I also didn't want to be scared and go through all the treatment and stuff and lose my hair. But then on the good side, I was working from home. So I was able to continue teaching from the teaching trailer all throughout my cancer journey. And that I feel like helped me get better quicker because I really would just have to take off days for chemotherapy and then I was back to work and it felt good to be with kids and to be in such a hopeful space. And then in 2022, I was cancer-free. And I have been since. So, yay! And I titled this slide Better Than Ever because I honestly do feel better than ever. I feel healthier. I feel stronger. I've become a runner. Like, I just feel healthier. Mentally, I feel more clear and healthy as well. And these are pictures of my sweet kiddos from Mesa Virtual Campus. For the last 2 years, I got to teach first and second grade as a combo class, which is insanity. But I have to tell you that the little community that was built in my class was incredible. The parents were also involved. The kids really wanted to be there, and like they just became a little family. And despite being in a virtual space, the relationships that we were building with one another were real. And by the end of the school year, we took a field trip to the zoo and we just had a blast. But as this is a digital literacies class, I will tell you, watching these little people engage with online tools and be able to, oh, I could tell you how to do that. Incredible. It's just such like a second language for these kiddos. Here we go. Oh, but sadly, uh, Mesa Virtual Campus was funded with ESSER funds, and since those have dried up and gone away, our school was closed down last year, and that broke a lot of hearts. There was such a strong and wonderful community there. But my principal also was a principal of another school at the same campus called Eagle Ridge, also in the Mesa Public Schools. And this school is an enrichment program for kids who are homeschooled. So we don't teach math or reading, but they do come in for all of the kind of like electives and things like that. So in the course of the day, I teach PE, line dancing, and farm to table. They do not know, I don't know how to grow any kind of plants, so what am I doing? But here I am being the PE queen. And anyhow, I love being a teacher. It is the joy of my life. I've taught in private schools, public schools, charter schools. I've taught in person, I've taught online, I've taught kindergarten through 8th grade, and I just think there's nothing better in the world than being able to get kids really excited about lifelong learning and to get kids really excited about reading. And so that's why I'm in this program, because I want to continue doing what I love doing with kids and inspiring them to read a whole bunch and see themselves as avid readers. So I can't wait for the rest of this class and to learn more about you guys. Bye!